This is my brand new small form factor ITX gaming PC with a RX Series 900 XT GPU, and it's been pretty beastly. But before I tell you about the parts inside, I need to talk about the fact that this is not a PC I built myself. This is a sponsored PC from a system integrator called Aftershock. In particular, this is the Aftershock Monolith line of PCs. So the Monolith line is their ITX PC lineup featuring the Height Revolt 3 PC case, which is what this PC case is. And I'll tell you why I chose this case in particular over the other options they offered me later on. But let's start off with the CPU in here, and that's a AMD 5700X. Now, I didn't have a say in choosing the CPU, if not I would have just chosen the most expensive thing available, obviously. But there is a good reason why the 5700X just makes sense in a rig like this. If you're actually buying a PC with your own money, the 5000 series CPUs right now, especially the 5700X, is looking like some fat, juicy, delicious value. Because for the prices they're being offered in Singapore, at the very least, the amount of performance per dollar you're getting is pretty good. It's actually a pretty good combination with a Series 900 XT. It's a CPU that will more than keep up with the Series 900 XT in most games, except for the most CPU-bound titles like, say, Counter-Strike or Valorant. But in those games, you're getting 300-400 FPS with this CPU anyway, so I highly doubt that it really matters. Anyway though, the 5700X is a beast of a CPU. 8-core 16 threads is more than enough for multitasking, multi-threaded, and even CPU-heavy tasks like video editing. Though I don't really plan to video edit on this rig, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to be mainly gaming on this PC and doing some streaming, which I've been doing more often, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification if you want to watch my Ascendant 1 Valorant gameplay. And for those purposes, the 5700X is more than enough. I've had no complaints, no issues with it whatsoever. It's paired with a B550 ITX motherboard from ASRock, a very straightforward, simple one, nothing too impressive. 16 gigs of RAM in here, more than enough for streaming, more than enough for the games that I play, and more than enough for the things that I'm doing. 1TB SSD, once again, I'm only storing games, so I don't care. It's nice and fast, nice and snappy. The CPU is pretty hot, especially in a small form factor PC case, so it needs to be cooled adequately, and it's being cooled by a 240mm radiator in a 240mm all-in-one water cooler. Now this is Aftershock's own brand of water coolers, and before you come at me and be like, oh, I don't trust them, these all-in-one water coolers I think are made in the same factory as the most popular ones from, say, NZXT or Corsair with the same OEM, so you shouldn't be too concerned. And the temperatures and noise from it has been pretty good. I've had no complaints about the performance of this water cooler paired with the CPU so far. Now the GPU obviously is a Series 900 XT, and before you ask, did you get an AIB or MBA? I got an MBA. So this is a reference Series 900 XT. And the reason I got a reference card is because it's the only ones available currently, so I couldn't use a third-party board. But I personally don't really mind. I know the third-party boards have better power delivery and supposedly could squeeze a bit more performance out with overclocking and might have less coil whine. As far as I can tell, coil whine's not really an issue, even with my open back headphones and my PC so close to my ears. Maybe I'm deaf. And as far as I can tell, thermals and performance really isn't going to be an issue for me. I game on 1440p. If I was gaming on 4K, I would try to get a third-party board or maybe even a XTX GPU, but I'm gaming on 1440p, so I have very little complaints. All of it is being powered by a 80 plus bronze FSP Hydro power supply, and there's a good reason Aftershock chose this power supply. It might not be the flashiest or most branded, it's a OEM one with no fancy branding on it. The reason they chose it is because from their long-term testing and from their consumer reports, it seems to have the lowest failure rates and lowest return rates, which indicates good reliability. Now the case that wraps it all up together is the Height Revolt 3, or as Aftershock likes to call it, the Monolith ITX PC case. And I chose this PC case over many other PC cases for a few good reasons. So my other options for small form factor PC cases, I needed small form factor because I was looking for a PC to bring with me to another country when I go to the UK to study university. But the reason I chose this PC case over the others is that in the context of bringing this thousands of kilometers cross continents to another country to come with me to university, this PC case kind of fit that job scope the best. Number one was that it had a top handle, making it easy to carry around, lug around, which is great. Number two is that it's a PC case without tempered glass, and that's very important to me because I didn't want tempered glass shattering in my luggage or during shipping. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to bring this PC to the United Kingdom, by the way, so if you have any advice about bringing PC to another country, please tell me in the comments down below. And most importantly, with small form factor PC cases, the airflow is is excellent. The airflow in here is very sensibly managed. Every heat producing part kind of has its own little airflow channel to breathe and stay cool, and I think makes a lot of sense. So your GPU, for example, is in the front here, and it sucks in air from the front and exhausts it out on the left of the case. Your all-in-one CPU water cooler exhausts air out of the left of the case along with the GPU as well. And its intake is more like a negative pressure intake to the back or the top. And the top is where the power supply exhausts its heat, and it gets its own little fresh air channel because it sucks in air from the right side of the PC case. Now this is also why I put this PC case on the left of my current setup. You really don't want to be having all the hot air exhaust onto your hand when you're gaming, unless of course it's winter, which might be the case when I'm studying in the UK and there's actually winter, and we'll see. As for thermals and performance with the 7900 XT and the 5700X in here, the CPU never goes past 65 degrees Celsius ever, which is great, and the GPU has never gone past 68 degrees Celsius ever, even when I'm streaming and gaming and doing all these different things at the same time and running multiple monitors. So no issues whatsoever. The only thing with the thermals about this PC that I'm slightly concerned by is the fact that the GPU memory temps are higher by quite a bit than the GPU core temps. It hits like 85 degrees Celsius peak, which is about 20 degrees more than the GPU core temp. I think this is probably because I'm using a reference cooler GPU. The memory temps probably are higher because reference coolers tend to have a less robust cooling solution for GPU memory than third-party board partner GPU cards. Not really a big deal because the memory is not like running at 100 degrees Celsius anyway. It never gets past 85. It's just peaks at 85. So I'm not too concerned, but if you are someone who's concerned about memory temps on your GPU, it might be a good idea to wait till Aftershock starts carrying third-party boards for the GPU or getting a third-party GPU yourself. As far as performance with the 7900 XT goes, I basically didn't bother doing benchmarks because since it wasn't thermal throttling at all, I was getting the same performance numbers as everything I saw online that had the same setup with the 5700X and the 7900 XT. Oh yeah, and there's the bonus that because this is a full AMD rig, it is going to have AMD Smart Access Memory, which gives the CPU and the GPU a little bit more bonus because it allows it to share RAM and work together and things like that. All in all then, I'm very happy with this gaming PC. And for streaming Valorant and streaming games, which is what I've been doing, make sure you subscribe for that and hit the notification bell for that. It's served me extremely well. All in all then, big thanks to you guys for watching and big thanks to Aftershock for sponsoring me with this gaming PC. I'm not gonna come out here and say, oh, it is the best value ever, because, it is going to be biased. It is a sponsored PC after all. I'm just gonna lay out the pricing and the facts, and you can decide whether it's good value for money on your own. I think it's good value, but you might disagree. So this PC config you see right here costs about 2.6, 2.7 thousand Singapore dollars. ITX PC case, everything all included, with a 3-year warranty. And if you're not buying a small form factor PC, you're okay with MATX or ATX PC, I think they have something called the Rapid or the Rapid Lite, which is going to be a 7900 XT PC with a 5700X, 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB SSD. Basically the same specs as this, but it's only going to cost 2,375 Singapore dollars, so 2.4K Singapore dollars for a whole 7900 XT PC. That's pretty insane considering 3080 PCs were like 2.4K as well just 2 months ago. So yeah, if you're looking for a gaming PC, definitely check out Aftershock. They sell in Malaysia, Australia, and Singapore. Other countries, not yet, but maybe in the future. And with that, like and subscribe!